Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining me here today. If you found yourself here, there may be a message for your healing journey, soul's evolution, transformation, or simply information. Today I would like to answer some questions about narcissistic abuse and the guilt that people feel after. Guilt for yourself, not knowing the difference or not knowing you were involved, and you are a victim. So yes, once you leave and unpack the events, it can be traumatizing and just unbelievable. Simply the things you've gone through and the things you didn't even realize you were going through till you left and understood what that meant. So yes, you were the victim, and victims of narcissistic abuse and domestic violence, maybe sexual abuse, years later realize that you have stored trauma. Maybe it was something from childhood you accepted or had to because you were a child, the abuse in the home, verbally or physically, and then you knew something about it and how to distinguish. Or maybe it caught you off guard because you didn't know the word narcissist. Well, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you find care and a safe place to heal that makes you feel safe, so you are able to release some of this trauma. So victims of this abuse, you were preyed upon, and this predator, narcissistic person has been abusive to you. So no, this is not your fault that you allowed this to happen, is what they say. You triggered me, right? If you look at the wheel of abuse, and if you have an order in place, they would have shown you that, or you ended up in a battered women's shelter, you may have seen this. If you go to their website, you will see the things in all the boxes that make sense. Now, everybody's situation is uniquely different, but if they dabbled on the dark side, they had addictions, and maybe you realize once you live with them, everything else that was going on that was undisclosed to anybody, it can become very dangerous with their rage, their scare tactics, their manipulations, and everybody else who they've collaborated to go against you. So get your affairs in order and keep a journal, so when you get your order in place, you can give the information accurately. And yes, definitely get an attorney who is well versed in these type of situations, not just somebody general just going to court with you just to see what happens. No, you need this to be locked in because it needs to be there to protect you. Domestic abuse, domestic violence, it's not okay. It's not just the words when they say I never laid hands on you. It actually does matter, because words matter and you matter. So yes, they may twist things around and they may do lots of things to you to torture and traumatize you behind the scenes with smear campaigns and use voice recordings, text, emails, which could all be twisted, and they can lawyer up and achieve anything that they want if they have money. Trust me, I know. They can purchase the justice system, and any legal action can be persuaded to go in their pocket. So with that said, now this might be an isolated incident, but I'm bringing awareness that your facts do matter and the law does matter, and everybody that's taken an oath should uphold the law. However, not everybody does. So there's no way that abuse on any front is okay. There's no excuses in any conversation by anybody. Should say, get over it. Everybody that's abusing, perpetrating on you, hurting you, harming you in any which way, shape, or form, you, your children, their children, neighbors, public, it doesn't matter. Abuse is abuse is abuse all day long. Victims of such abuse typically carry a lot of guilt. Maybe you left children behind, or maybe you had to, tear up a home. Maybe your whole life has been turned upside down. But isn't that better? To be in a safe, sacred space so you can heal and recover, knowing that this stops, you've stopped the madness, versus any material thing out there. You can recover. Trust me, you can. Part of your healing process and your traumatization of you, the victim, which sometimes we receive no credit or no affirmations that was an awful thing. Now I had somebody good writing my order and a good attorney that helped me along the way, that understood. So it's important. It's important for you to know your freedom matters, your voice matters, and you matter. And victims of abuse, no matter who shows up in a suit, doesn't matter. You need to know the law needs to help you. So I recommend getting your affairs in order, putting them in a safe place. Doesn't always mean a safe, because you can move that and they can break it open. Trust me, I know. Or if you lived with them, they know where the keys are. So, meaning off-site, someplace else, and not your work, because they visit there too, in the middle of the night, right? Or whenever they can. If you've lived with them, they have every aspect of your life, and they twist it every which way possible. Passports, driver's license, social security number, taxes, your kids' taxes, your car plate. They literally can do so much damage. So you are the victim. These people prey on you, and if they're narcissistic on the dark side, that are evil, it's a nightmare. So I recommend getting help early, and if the onset of abuse happens, you can talk about it. If they're willing to go to therapy, I'm saying maybe. But narcissistics in general are very selfish, ego-based, and it's one-sided. That's not a relationship. You need love. Love to heal yourself and find people that can help you heal. Yes, you were a victim, and maybe you were codependent. You didn't know better. Maybe you're like me, an empath who wants to help those people heal. Well, I was specifically told you can't help these type of people along the way. And if you were a healer and you have been around a lot of people with trauma, basically childhood trauma, but they deal with the dark arts and their addictive personalities and multiple personalities and twisted lifestyles, it's dangerous for you. You need to save yourself. That requires an order of protection, and get it for life, because you can. I didn't know that either. But if there's guns involved and anything that's more violent, and they have laid their hands on you or other people or your animals, this is something that needs to be disclosed, even though they lie about it, and they build smear campaigns because they're mad at you, and they do everything to take you under, because that makes them happy. This is classic abuse on all fronts. They'll do everything so you can't survive, but you will. You will survive. There are people, places, and things that make you feel like you can do this and help you along your way to heal, no matter what. And also, it's required for you to have hope, because without hope, there's no healing, right? Faith over fear. You can do this. We can all do this. We can unite and stop the madness. So I hope this helps today. One day at a time, have the wisdom and courage to know the difference and great discernment with who you trust. And it's okay to have self-care, because it's sacred. It's not selfish. No matter how many times you've heard that, you need to have some self-care for yourself to unpack this trauma that you were a victim of. So I hope this helps today, and just take care of you. Namaste.